talk about my remaining whips. Okay, I am not going to go through each and every whip because I did that in the last video. So take a look at the video that came out, I think January 13th. That was my review of my whips. But I had 16, I completed 4, yay me. I have, 12 left. Of course I have 12 left. So let me talk about the one that I've been working on the most. The reason I've been working on this one, well, let me first tell you what they are. Just to recap, I'm not going to go through them all. Hang on, now I need my glasses again. I cannot see 2 feet in front of me. Okay. My remaining whips, there's 12 of them. Yes, I think there's 12. Or is there 11 of them? There's 12 of them. I have my Anu tank top. So there's a tank top. There's my stained glass sock that's remaining. I still have to knit 1 sock. I have to knit 1 more sock of the wine knot sock test that I was doing. I have to finish a gnome, the Sarah Shearer something to write gnome about. I'm so close to finishing that. I've got the DRK broom mashup from Andrea Mowry that I'm doing. Patrick's sweater, of course. The Erin sweater by Irene Lynn, where I've just done the collar so far. My Domino Christmas blanket. My I-cord Christmas blanket. My wizarding, I can't even say it, wizarding scarf. Harry Potter themed scarf. And I've got 2 garlands that I was working on, the Christmas tree garland and the smitten mitten garland. So thank you for your comments. I am going to join those 2 garlands. So those 2 whips become 1. I still have to do the trunks on the trees then, but that makes it a lot easier. I have prioritized all of those whips. Here's the priority list of the whips. So first up is Patrick's sweater. I'm not going to show it to you. You've seen it a gajillion times. I want to get that one finished. I think I will feel really, really good and accomplished if I can finish that whip after 6 years. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's been 6 years. But in fairness to me, I knit it once, had to start, knit it completely. It was far too big. I chose the wrong yarn and it was gargantuan. So I started it over. So really I'm on the 2nd version of that sweater, but I'm really close to finishing. So Patrick's is number 1. Number 2 is something to write gnome about. Look at him. All I have to do, I have pinned on all his parts, so everything is pinned on, and I just have to finish his legs. So actually, I only have to finish 1 leg. So this is it. So literally, I have knit 1 leg. I just have to knit the 2nd leg. I can do that. It cannot take me that much time. I'm thinking it will take me not even a day, a couple hours, and I will have this gnome finished. And I just have to sew them together. So he is one of my priorities. That's the 2nd priority. The 3rd priority is my stained glass sock. Did I bring my stained glass sock? Yes, because why? They're so pretty. They're so pretty, and I really do want to finish them. This is the yarn that I'm dealing with. This is the base, and this is the stained glass. And I've talked a lot about them in previous videos, but this is how far I am. I am a 1/3 of the way, well, probably, yeah, 1/3 of the way I'm going to say, because I have to do a heel and I have to remember what I did for the heel because I don't even remember anymore. But it's going to be a shorty sock, so there's really not that much left to go on it, so I want to finish this one. So that, I kind of figured get a sock done. It's halfway done, then I will have a full set. The other one has been sitting all by its lonesome in my sock drawer, and I haven't been able to wear it. So that is going to be priority number 3. Priority number 4 is going to be the Anu tank top. And thank you for all your comments regarding this. So this is knit in a DK weight bamboo cotton yarn by Sublime. There you go. And it's got this beautiful detail on the side. And you're 100% right. Joan said, Linda, scrap the tank top. Either scrap it and frog it or make it a tee because you're not going to wear the tank top. So you know what? You're 100% right. I am going to make a tee out of it. So then I went through my Ravelry patterns thinking, okay, well, I can't just wing it because that's a little bit complicated for me. I need to follow a bottom up pattern that turned out to be a sweater or a tank top. So the sweater pattern that I think I've decided to follow is already in my library. It is a bottom up by Elizabeth Lavold, and it's called the Inez. I'll put a picture up here. It's an Inez. It's a long sleeve sweater, but I can just make it short sleeved. But what I liked about it is it had a V-neck, a little bit of V, and it has a little bit of a braid. I'll probably just do an I-cord versus a braid, but it has a little bit of detail in the V-neck, and it seems to me, and it's the right weight, it seems to me something that I could follow in terms of the decreased rate for the underarms and the V-neck. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to finish that, and not only that, summer will be coming shortly, and then I will have something that I can actually wear this spring and summer. So those are the 4 for now. Now, what I said about my whips is I don't want them hanging around into 2027. That doesn't mean I'm going to finish them all today. So that is my priority, which if I finish those in the next month, then that will leave me 7 more that I have to finish throughout the rest of the year. I can manage that. Now, what I'm about to say, that's a segue into what I'm about to say for what is next on my needles. So this section is not for the faint of heart. I'm going to tell you that right now. So are you sitting down? This is a good thing. Okay, so my plans for February. So Wendy was mentioning, have you seen the 12 cast-ons, the 12 days of cast-on that people have been doing? And funny enough, at the same time as Wendy wrote that comment, I followed Jen from the Stash Down Diaries, and she's a Canadian, and she is in Eastern Canada, the Maritimes. And she was doing the 12 days of cast on, and she was talking about how it sets her up for her knitting for 2026. Well, December, January, I was doing too much traveling, too much back and forth. I had no capacity to plan or think or organize myself around 12 cast-ons. That wasn't going to happen. But I loved the idea. I really love the idea of, because maybe you're like me, maybe you're not. I know that there are 2 camps when it comes to whips. I'm totally comfortable with having multiple whips. And actually there's probably 3 camps. Let me change that. There's 3 camps. There's the people like me who are like, bring on the whips. Doesn't matter how many I have. I don't get stressed out about my whips. For me, it's more about just the engagement and the process, etc. Then there are those of you that don't mind whips at all, but you like to contain it a little bit, somewhere around 3 or 6 whips, and you're comfortable. Anything more than that, and it gets a little nerve-wracking. And then there's the I don't do whips category, the monogamous knitters that do one project at a time. And then there are those of you that fall somewhere in between there. But that's kind of the 3 main camps. Well, I'm definitely on the far extreme side where, I had 16 whips, folks. And the number of whips doesn't bother me at all. The only reason I've got to focus on my whips now is because some of them have been lingering a little long, and I'd like to freshen my whips, like to fresh the category of whips. So, long-winded version of saying, I'm going to start the Fab 14 in February. Yeah, so instead of doing Vlogentine, which is not something I've ever done, don't get me wrong, I love watching other people do it, but it's not something I'm going to do. But what I am going to do is I am going to cast on 14 new projects in the first 14 days of February. So, okay, I can already hear you going, what? What are you thinking? But here's the thing. For me, one, I have so many things I want to knit, and I've only got so much time. So I just want to feel like I've started something. And there's so many projects I want to knit. Not only that, every time I go to my knitting group, they're inspiring me and I'm like, I want to knit that and I want to knit that and I want to knit this. And then I've got all this lovely yarn that has been sitting in my stash for a significant amount of time that I've never touched. I have patterns in my pattern library that I have wanted to knit since I started collecting patterns, but I never get to because there's always something new and fresh. And yet when I look back at those patterns and when I look back at my yarn, I'm like, oh, I do want to knit that. I really do want to cast that on. So my Fab 14 in February is going to be deep stash and older patterns. So if that's something that you are interested in or think it might be fun to watch, join me because we're going to have some fun. It's for the fun of knit. I have no stress, no obligation, no high expectations, and I am not a perfectionist. So thank you, Kathy. So this is what For the Fun of Knit is all about for me. And so starting February 1st, I'm going to vlog every single day for 14 days. I am going to tell you about the pattern that I've chosen, the yarn that is the deep stash yarn I've chosen and why those two go together, or why I've chosen those. And then I'm going to cast it on and I'll finish the vlog by just showing you how far I got in that day. Oh, pardon me. Will I show you in that day? I'll probably start off, no, each video will start off how much I did of the pattern the previous day, what I got to, and then the pattern that I'm going to choose for the next day, the yarn that I've chosen to go with it, and tell you about that. And then day 3 will be a review of day 2's, how far did I get, and so on and so on. So you're going to basically get 15 vlogs because I'll wrap it up on the 15th. But I thought that should be a lot of fun. So and it's going to be a variety of things. So I haven't totally set my mind on what I want to include in that. I might have more than 14 options. And I think that's probably the way that I'll go because I really want to knit a lot of things. And they're all over the map. They're from accessories to blankets to garments, the whole gamut, socks, everything. So what I thought, there was a couple of different options. I think one podcaster had a spinning wheel. Can't remember her name. There's an actual app where you can put things on a spinning wheel and just spin the wheel and it'll choose for you. I thought that would be fun. Someone else just pulled it out of a hat. And someone else pre-planned it, every day what they were going to cast on. I don't think I'm going to pre-plan that. I'm going to just either spin a wheel or draw it out of a jar or something like that, just to make it a little bit more fun. And keeping with my theme of the year, by the seat of my pants, I am just going to knit by the seat of craft by the seat of my pants. And to me, this so fits the bill. So the only caveat to this is no one is allowed to get stressed about it. So even if you are in the camp of monogamous knitter, you are not allowed to get stressed by me having this many whips because I'm not stressed about it. If we can agree on that, that would be lovely. So on that note, that is all I have for today in terms of knitting content. And I will just wrap up with sharing a little bit of my trip back to Vancouver, just a little bit, 5 minutes of just yik yak about that. So if you're gonna sign off for now, I totally understand. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful morning, evening, or afternoon, wherever you are. And I look forward to seeing you again the next time for all the knitting content. For those of you that just get a kick out of the shenanigans that I get into, here's a good one for you. So, as you know, I left on January 9th. I left my house on January 9th. I decided to stay overnight. I'm looking for one of my whips. Where's my whip? Oh, don't know what I did with it. Oh, hang on 2 seconds. This is important. It's part of the story. So on January 9th, I headed over to Dublin early because my flight left at 9 o'clock in the morning and there was no bus slash Uber combination that was affordable that could get me to the airport on the 10th, Saturday the 10th, by 6 o'clock in the morning. Wasn't going to work. So stayed out overnight in a hotel first. And I have to say that was the loveliest way to travel. No rush. It broke it up. It's a 2-hour bus ride to the airport, 2 and a bit bus ride to the airport. Then the shuttle for the hotel picked me up for free. Awesome. I got to check in early for free. Lovely. So I was at my hotel by about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and they were lovely. The hotel by 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then I decided, because I had so much time, I wanted to stop off. I pre-planned this. I wanted to stop off at IKEA and look at storage solutions. So I think you may have seen that in the last video. Yes, I think I showed that to you in the last video. So yada, yada, yada. Next day, get to the airport and realize I forgot my earbuds. I forgot my wireless earbuds at the hotel. Not a problem. They're sending them to me, but what a silly girl. Then I flew to Vancouver. As you know, part of this is a little bit of a repeat, I guess. I landed Saturday night at 4:30, 5 o'clock-ish. Not a problem. Took a taxi to my mom's. Happy I got there. It was lovely. It was the sad part is my mom and Ron are on a cruise, so didn't get to visit with them. However, this trip was all about selling my car. So just a big hug to my friend, and she met me on Sunday. She spent all Sunday and Monday with me. We went for long walks. We went for lunch. She kept me awake, which was good. That was part of acclimating. It really, really helped. And so we had a really great time on Sunday. On Monday, she drove me everywhere. She drove me. So my mom lives in White Rock, which is about 45 minutes outside of Vancouver. It's part of the Vancouver Lower Mainland, but it's a suburb 45 minutes away. So anyway, my girlfriend Anne drove me into Vancouver. We went to the Customs Services Bureau, Canada Customs. I had the nicest customs agents. Oh my goodness, this is never heard of. Customs agents are usually wearing black gloves and dark sunglasses, and they're like mean, man. They're just darn right mean. These guys were so Canadian. They were just so friendly. They were like, hi, come on in, let's talk. What do you need to have done? I'm like, am I at customs? I don't know what to do here. Anyway, they were so helpful. They gave me the stamp of approval on my car within like 15 minutes. I thought I was going to have to wait for hours and being grilled to the nth degree. Nope, super simple. So funny, in fact, that one of the guy that was working next to him leaned over and goes, I couldn't help hearing the conversation, but you're trying to sell your car, are you? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, as a matter of fact, I'm looking for a car. So when you decide on a price, just text me, here's my number, and let's see if we can make a deal. So I'm like, oh, this is off to a good start. Then Anne and I drove, and we were driving down Main Street and needed to insure my car. Lo and behold, poof, there's an auto plan, an insurance broker. So in we go. There's a parking spot right in front of their front door, their office. And this is a busy part of Vancouver. This is like 4 lanes of traffic and the whole works. Right in front of their office, and the parking meter was broken. We got free parking. Bonus, okay, 2 wins. Got my insurance. There was nobody in there. Got my insurance right away. Then she drove me 3/4 of the way back home to Delta, where my car was being stored. Get there, my car was waiting for me. It was in perfect condition. The guy put on my new license plates. We drove home. No hitch, no foul. My car ran beautifully. Had to gas it up, not a problem. Parked downstairs, and then Anne and I went for lunch. That was just such a relief. I was so worried about the whole process of importing a car, really returning it. It did never get registered in Ireland, and that was the key. Because I had never actually registered my car in Ireland, I stopped the whole process and just shipped it right back. It was easy peasy. Had I registered it for even one day, then it would have been a whole different ball game. So something worked out. Yay. Tuesday, I was on my own. I had my car. That was great. So I couldn't thank Anne enough. She was just absolutely awesome through the whole thing. And we had a great time. So that was good. Tuesday, I had 2 appointments with 2 dealerships. So sorry, Monday night, I put my car on. I hope you're interested in this. Anyway, I skip forward if you don't like this part. But anyway, or actually you could end now. But so Monday night, I put my car on Auto Trader, which is a North American site for selling your car. So autotrader.ca for Canada. And you tick a box that says open to dealer bids. The reason I wanted to sell it through a dealer was I didn't have the time to spend vetting whether people were legitimate or not, whether they really had the finances to buy my car or not. I didn't have the time to test drive it with them, nor I was by myself. So I wasn't with Patrick. I didn't have a guy. I'm sorry. This is not biased, but it's a safety thing. I didn't have anyone to test drive the cars with the buyer, the potential buyer. And I didn't want to have to go to the insurance and then transfer over all the paperwork and then go to their bank and make sure their money was valid. There's so many scams happening. So for me, yes, I could have gotten $6,000 more for my car had I sold it privately. $6,000 is not an insignificant amount of money, but I didn't have the luxury, nor did I have the safety to do that. So for me, I kind of knew what price I was willing to accept from a dealer. My husband, Patrick, did all the research. Fabulous, very, very helpful. And he coached me on the negotiations, etc. Because, I'm sorry, but women in cars and car dealerships, it might have changed, but I have this thought in my head that they see you coming. Oh, you're an older woman. You don't know anything about cars. Which I don't. So that would have been true, but we'll take advantage of you. So dealing one with a reputable dealer was important to me. And anyway, so I chose, my first 2 options were the dealership that serviced my car all these years, and then the dealership where I bought my car. Those were my first 2 choices, and they both bid on my car, so that was great. So I had an appointment, long story short, Tuesday morning with the one who serviced my car the whole entire time, and I had a 4:00 in the afternoon appointment with the dealer where I bought my car originally. And then I also had an appointment 10 o'clock on Wednesday morning with a dealership that I did not know. Okay. So the dealership where I got my car serviced was a gong show. That was no go. The service department is super highly rated. The sales department, not so much apparently. And boy, was that ever true when I got there. They made me wait with an appointment 45 minutes before they would even come and talk to me about what they might offer me for my car. It was very disrespectful. The people that I was talking to weren't the decision makers. They kept running back to their sales manager. Oh, I'll have to go check with my sales manager. They'd go back, wait 5 minutes, come back to me. Well, my sales manager says I can offer you this. And I just said, look, I don't know. I said, no. I know what my car's worth. I know what I could get from a dealer for my car, and you're not even in the ballpark. So how I left it was, I would like to keep this conversation open. I am going to other places to see what I can do with my car. If tomorrow at noon you want to give me a call and my car is still available, I will happily have that conversation with you. And then I left and went knitting with my girlfriends for 3 hours, which was lovely, decompressor. And then I drove to Richmond, all the way to Richmond for the dealer that I bought my car. Interesting thought about that though, is when I originally bought my car, I was so impressed. My husband and I hunted around all different dealerships and figured out that's the dealer that we wanted to deal. We knew we wanted to buy an Acura RDX. And when we went to that particular dealer, the service experience, the sales experience was so different at Acura Richmond Acura than it was anywhere else on the Lower Mainland. It was so respectful, so professional, so thorough, so detailed. They were actually interested. And I remember that. And when I went, I didn't think it would be the same because now I'm selling my car. There's nothing in it. They're going to get a good margin on my car, but it's not the same. So when I went there, I was completely blown away. They greeted me within minutes, thanked me for the potential of my business. Within 15 minutes, they had come back with a price on my car. I didn't like the price. Fair enough. So they finally asked me, what do you want for the car? And I told them what I wanted for the car. And back up. They greeted me immediately. So the sales rep came out. His name was Sebastian. And he said, thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm going to come back in 2 minutes. Just wait 2 minutes. And I thought, oh, here we go. I'm going to wait 45 minutes. No, he came back with the sales manager. Introduced Brian Lowe, the sales manager, and Brian said everything Sebastian did, shook my hand. Thank you for the opportunity to do this business with you. Let me and Sebastian, spend 10 minutes with the car and we'll come right back to you. They came right back within 10, 15 minutes. And yes, they gave me a low ball offer, which I expected. So that was not a problem. And I just said, no. I said, I'm not prepared for that. And they said, you know what would you like for the car? Just give us what you would like for the car and we'll start from there. And I thought, oh God, here we go. I gave them my price, the one that I would accept. And I said, I won't accept anything lower, so don't even go there. I said, I'm not interested in going back and forth. And I said, he goes, fair enough. He goes, let me get my service manager to just take a look under the hood. We're going to take it for a test drive. We'll be back in 15 minutes. Sure enough, 12 minutes later, they were back. And he said, if you will accept that price, we're happy to pay that for your car. And I said, great. So not only was it a fair deal, and I know my car was a gem. They're going to make a ton of money on it. I get that. But I got the price I wanted. They were very respectful of my time. They had an insurance agent right there to cancel the insurance that I had just purchased. All done and dusted. The whole thing was done in an hour, and they couriered the check to my home, and they paid for my Uber home. So by Tuesday night, I was done. It was such a relief. I slept so well. Oh my gosh. I think I went to bed at 7 and woke up at like 5 o'clock in the morning. No jet lag. I was done. I was relieved. It was such a fabulous, fabulous experience. So that was the last administrative detail that I had to do for Canada. Oh my God, it was such a blast. So then I spent my time just peppering around town. Mom had left me her car, which was great. Met my girlfriends again on Friday for a knit. Met Anne for dinner. Talked to my girlfriend Jill. Wasn't able to meet her for dinner, unfortunately. But just got some odds and ends done of things I wanted to pick up to bring back home. And literally Saturday morning, I got back on the plane. Easy peasy flight. The ride home was so much fun. And I have to say, both coming to Canada and coming home, breaking up that flight into 2 flights, it made a slightly longer day, but because I wasn't sitting in the airplane for 9-10 hours, my body handled it much better. I did not have the discomfort that you get, flying can give you gas if you're, sorry if that's too much information, but it does. You bloat when you're on long trips. I don't know about everybody else, but I certainly do. It gets uncomfortable towards the end, and my legs swell if I'm in a long flight. So I wear the compression socks and I get up a lot and I do the exercises to minimize that. But my ankles tend to swell a little bit when I'm flying. Well, breaking it up, I had none of that. So me, myself, I will always choose the Dublin, Toronto, Vancouver route if I can. Patrick likes to do it all in one go. I get that. Get it over with. Rip off the Band-Aid. But for me, the slightly longer time frame, but breaking it up was much easier on my body. So I really enjoyed that a lot. So that is all the things that I wanted to. Oh, I'm going to have to go back. I'm going to have to insert something. So now you're going to see a break in the video because I have to tell you about what the letter said in the TOFT Advent. I still haven't done it, so I'm definitely doing this video. So You've already seen it, and I've just remembered I have to do it. So there you go. Now, the last thing I'm going to say is, before I go, see these mittens? Notice how I have 2 of them. I actually knit 3. I knit 3 because on my way to Vancouver, I finished the second glove on the flight from not the flight, but I finished it. I finished all the way except for the thumb on the flight from Dublin to Vancouver, and then in my layover in Vancouver, I was sitting at Twist Restaurant, and I was video chatting with my husband and my sister, showing them my mitten, and I left it in the restaurant. At least I think I left it in the restaurant. I left it in the restaurant or put it on top of my backpack, which is black, and I didn't see it anyway. I went to finish it on the leg from Toronto to Vancouver. I went to pull it out of my bag to finish the thumb. Nope, no thumb, no glove. I was so pissed off at myself. I couldn't believe I did that. Luckily, I had enough yarn to knit a third. So yay, I do have a matching set. And the fun thing about that is I realized I can knit one of these in like 4 hours. So you want to talk about a great gift knit? 4 hours. There you go. So that is it in a nutshell. I hope that you have enjoyed this, and thank you so much for all your comments and for spending the time with me. I thoroughly enjoy making these podcasts. Like I said, it's for the fun of knit. It is just a hobby for me, but I value each and every one of our virtual relationships. So thank you so much, everyone. And wherever you are, be it morning, afternoon, or evening, I hope that you are having a wonderful time with your crafting, and I hope that I kept you company while you did so. Thanks so much. I'm going to talk to you very soon, and we'll speak again soon. Bye-bye.